Now, there are three most important ethnic groups inhabiting present day Manipur. They are the valley based Hindu Meitei community and the Pangals or Manipuri Muslims. Then, the hill based, predominantly Christian Naga communities and the Kukis. The Kukis are relatively smaller in number. The northern hills of Manipur are the main bastion of the Tangkhul Nagas, and the southern hills are populated by the Chin Kukis, the Zomis, and the Mizos. There is also a significant population of those who might not be knowing of Tamil Hindus residing in the Indo-Myanmar border town of Moreh in Manipur's Chandel district. So the hills of Manipur are largely Christian, unlike the valley. At present, Christianity is the second fastest growing religion in Manipur, accounting for about 47% of the total population. In fact, Christianity has been making inroads among a significant section of the Hindu Meitei community here since the early 2000s, mainly as a result of the proselytization endeavors of the Naga and the Kuki pastors from the hills. Now, coming to the ongoing violence, it initially began when several Kuki organizations had called for a 12-hour total shutdown in protest against the state government's decision to carry out a survey on reserved and protected forest areas and wetlands under the Green Manipur campaign, largely inhabited by the Kuki community, including the Kuki Chin migrants from Myanmar. These areas, that is the reserved and protected forest areas of Manipur, they are the hotspots of illegal poppy cultivation. And interestingly, the timing of these protests coincided with the visit of Chief Minister N. Biren Singh to Churachandpur, which is a Kuki dominated district. It was on the 3rd of May that the ATSUM is the All Tribal Students Union of Manipur, a predominantly Christian body comprising of various Naga and Kuki organizations. It had called for a tribal solidarity march in Churachandpur district to oppose the demand for the inclusion of the Meiteis in the scheduled tribes category. Initially, the protests were concentrated in the hill districts of Manipur, specifically Churachandpur, but they soon began to take a violent turn. Violent turn in the sense hateful and provocative messages against the Meitei Hindus began to circulate in social media, which led to the suspension of mobile internet services, imposition of night curfew, and Section 144 in several places of the state. The same organizations which were a part of this protest also expressed their displeasure after the government of Manipur had ordered for the demolition of some churches which were constructed on illegally occupied lands in Imphal during an eviction drive that took place in March 2023. And then came the directive of the Manipur High Court to the state government for the setting up of a committee to consider the matter of including the Meiteis in the scheduled tribes category. But in the protest rallies that were being carried out against this directive of the High Court, the protesters were seen raising hateful slogans against the Hindus of the valley while carrying sophisticated arms and weapons such as AK 47. So, certain genuine questions arose later, like who were these armed protesters in reality? Were common Kuki civilians assisted by militants in their war against the Hindus of the valley? In fact, just a few days before this violence, a banned militant outfit, the KIA, that is the Kuki Independent Army, led by its commander in chief, had looted a huge cache of arms and ammunitions from a designated camp at Chongkhuzo village in Churachandpur. So, the way things have panned out, we certainly cannot rule out the possibility of an outside hand in these protests. Shops owned by Hindu Meitei families were mercilessly looted and destroyed by armed Christian Kuki militants in different areas of Bishnupur and Churachandpur districts. The Christian Kuki outfits that led the protest movement also burned down the houses and temples of the Hindu Meiteis in the districts of Kakching, Churachandpur, Tengnopal, Bishnupur, Kangpokpi, and Imphal West through a series of what I would say well planned attacks. A 200-year-old Shiva temple was mercilessly razed and its murti was very badly desecrated at a place called Kobru Lekha in the Kuki dominated Kangpokpi district. Another temple of Eputho Pakhangba was vandalized. It was destroyed by a violent Kuki mob at a place called Thingamphai Meitei Lekai in Churachandpur district, mainly in retaliation for the demolition of all the illegally constructed churches in the Imphal Valley by the government. In the past as well, there have been several such instances in the hill districts of Manipur when the construction of Hindu temples had to be stalled all of a sudden because of vehement resistance by the church and its affiliated organizations, including the militant groups. And it has been very, very unfortunate that the administration has more often than not turned a blind eye to such cases of atrocities against Hindus and Hindu religious places of worship in the Northeast, because the churches here are more akin to political institutions than religious or sacred places. And it has been a well coordinated, long term strategy of the missionaries to destroy every trace of the Hindu civilization and culture from the Northeast. We see a repeat of the same story again in Manipur. And because of this unending violence, Hindus of the valley have been forced to leave their homes to other safer Hindu dominated areas like Moirang and Saiton, besides the capital city of Imphal, and as well as the southern districts of Assam in the Barak Valley to escape the terror. Several towns in Manipur, such as Moirang, Kwata, Ningthokhong, Kumbi, they are still lodging thousands of displaced people who have been evacuated from the Kuki dominated areas. And before concluding this, I would like to make an important point which we must not forget. Since I'm talking about the background of this conflict, that is, most militant groups of the Northeast are sponsored both overtly and covertly by the church. They provide extensive help to the Kuki missionaries for constructing churches at several strategic locations in the border areas of Manipur, because their larger objective is that during crisis times such as these, the same churches can be used as safe hideouts for the militants. So, these militant groups are always at the forefront of suppressing at gunpoint any opposition by the mighty Hindus against Christian conversions in the valley area.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.